Hi, everyone, and welcome to our June webinar. We're going to dive into an exciting topic this month and look at 3 key ways to use your smartphone to manage your farm and, as a result, simplify your life. That might sound like a sweeping statement, but consider a recent study by Ipsos that found 80% of Canadian farmers use smartphones. That's a higher adoption rate than the overall population, and it's safe to assume those trends will be similar right across the farming community in North America. The study also showed that while farmers use mobile technology for a lot of the same things as other people, such as accessing social media, conducting banking, checking out the news and weather reports, what's interesting and unique to the farm population is their tendency to use their phones more for business-related functions and activities. These stats are probably no surprise to the farmers who have joined us on this webinar. You know how essential your phone is to your ability to run your farm. What we want to offer today are some strategies to help you maximize the power of your phone to simplify farm management, which comes down to saving time and probably a few headaches along the way. Before we get into today's topic, we wanted to let you know that, as a token of our appreciation for the time you're spending with us on this webinar, Trimble would like to send you a free gift. These gifts are currently available only to those in North America and are limited to one per household, but if you have watched this on-demand webinar during the month of June 2018, we'll be sending you a gift. Watch for an email to hit your inbox a few hours after watching this for more information. Okay, so in this webinar, we're going to focus on 3 farming areas that are prime territory for mobile management. These are assigning tasks and keeping track of farm work progress, managing your fleet and vehicle display information, and tracking hours, breaks, productivity, so farm managers can maximize labor resources by easily knowing who's where. We'll dive into each of these areas, providing real-life examples of mobile farm management, as well as providing demonstrations from Trimble Ag Mobile experts along the way. Speaking of those experts, here's a quick background on who they are. First up, we'll have Kevin Pattison, Director of Engineering for Trimble Ag Software. Kevin played a huge role in developing some of the software you'll see demonstrated later in this webinar. Next, we'll have Gwen Byard, one of Trimble's expert product managers. She will provide a walkthrough example of mobile fleet management. Finally, you'll hear from Brian Stark, who has over 20 years of experience with farm software and whose family farm just celebrated a century in business in Ohio. Okay, so let's get into it. The first area we'll discuss is how to leverage your phone for keeping track of farm work. Why should you make your phone a regular part of your daily farm labor management? Think of your farm operations morning routine. Does everyone working on your farm gather in the office in the morning to see the manager standing at a whiteboard, laying out all of the farm work to be done that day? Does the manager assign jobs to each person, answer questions, and then everyone heads out to do their specific job on time, on the right field, with the right equipment, with no overlap or redundancies, application mistakes, or miscommunication? Well, that may be the case on some days, if you're lucky, but it's fair to say that this isn't always how it works in real life. Running a farm business is hectic and can get downright chaotic during the busy planting and harvest seasons. Large farm operations that bring on up to 10 workers during peak times have a significant number of moving parts to constantly juggle. A major pain point, then, is that the farm manager is spending a lot of his day checking on workers, finding out what's been done, where to send them next, and also contacting them if there's been a change to the original plan or if priorities for the day have changed. This is where a transparent system that can track work orders or farm jobs on a smartphone can reduce a lot of pain and manual time spent checking on project status. Now that we're all on the same page with this issue, let's talk about what a mobile solution would look like. Farm management gets easier if, with your mobile device, you can identify and assign detailed tasks to workers, set priorities and weather restrictions for jobs, monitor progress and completion of tasks, and refer back to those details at a later date, and make changes on the fly. To show you what this actually looks like on a phone, we have a demo of a new feature that has just been added for free to farmers using Trimble Ag Software's Farmer Pro offering. Now I'll pass it over to Kevin Pattison, who will take a few minutes to walk through some of the highlights in the app itself.
As far as creating the work orders, there's three main ways to go and do that. One would be from the work orders tab itself. So there is a plus in the top right here. If I click that, it's going to open the window. I can click on add fields and I can go and select one or more fields that I want to apply this to. So I could pick these two fields. As far as a task type, if I'm doing something just really basic, I could just do like a scouting task. I'm just going to leave the operation as unknown for now. I'm going to assign someone to it, and assign myself to that, and set a window of between today and the 8th that I want to do that job, and then save that job out. So what's happened now is it's created 3 tasks, or 2 tasks, one for each of those fields that I created. Those 2 tasks were created together. So the nice thing about this is I can come in and I can still make comments and add more details to it, and it'll keep all of that data that was part of that group. So there's both those fields. When I go to save it, it'll ask if I want to update this for all of the work orders that were part of that group or just this individual one. So if I hit yes, both of those work orders will get those new comments and changes. So if you're working on a large farm and you're doing a spray recommendation across 20 fields, and you suddenly have to change products or change a rate, you can make those changes without having to go back and modify every single record. Because they're created as a group, you can make modifications en masse across all of those items. But once they're started, then they become their own record. So it really streamlines managing this for a whole bunch of different fields at the same time. The second way to create work orders is actually from the field list screen. So one of the things I could do is filter by a certain crop, and then say I want to do a job for these ones. I could select multiple fields across the left and then use the create work order button from there. So that's another quick way to create the work order. And the third way to do it is using the map itself. So from here, I could see the map, I can see all the boundaries. They're color coded by crop. If I wanted to go do something on just the barley fields, I could click in the top right and say select fields, and then I can touch the fields that I'd like to do something to, and then you can say create work order. So then at that point, I could create a new task. So whether it's, let's just do a quick spraying task. Again, select spraying, go to materials. I'm just going to do the same tank mix I did last time. Assign a vehicle, sprayer number 1, assign an operator, sprayer guy, oops. And go back, and I'm not going to put any weather restrictions, but just save that. And that's gone and created those work orders for that particular, those 2 fields. So if I go back to the work orders tab, I'll see those 2 spraying events that were set for today in the system. So really quick way to create a lot of jobs for a lot of fields, for a lot of different activities really quickly. So you can see once you get that big, the filters at the top are going to become more critical to allow this to be kind of managed by the people to see what they need to do.
Thanks, Kevin. Now let's talk about the second area we want to highlight when it comes to farmers leveraging their phone to manage farm operations. This one is about maximizing the use of your fleet. Here, the value is in being able to access real time fleet locations and the status of each, all from your cell phone. Why is that important? Imagine being able to know which of your vehicles are idling at the touch of a button on your phone. Or wouldn't you want to be able to easily see which of your vehicles are working and performing at a high level of efficiency? This information is critical to have quickly available, especially when planning out field tasks or budgeting. I know a lot of you want to see how this would actually work on your phone out in the field. For a first-hand demo using the Trimble Ag mobile app, I'm going to pass it over to Gwen now. But first, I want to let viewers know that if you have a question as we're running through this, or anytime during the webinar, just jot it down and we'll provide information at the end on how you can fill out the question form and someone will get back to you to help. Over to you, Gwen.
I'll start by showing a short demo of Fleet in the Trimble Ag mobile app. So here's the homepage when you log in for the Trimble Ag mobile app, and down at the bottom here is located the Fleet tile. So I'll tap on that. And when I open that up, you can see a list of your vehicle groups. So you can create groups how you'd like in Fleet, or you can just leave your vehicles unassigned to a group. It's up to you how you'd like to organize them. So this page gives you a good way to just see a snapshot of all your vehicles. So I'm going to tap on the tractor group, and that'll just bring up the vehicle in that group. There's just one vehicle. You can see its name, its current status, which is turned off. You can see it was last updated a few days ago. And then if I tapped on the large row crop group, there's more vehicles here, and I can quickly see what they're up to. So I'm going to tap on the vehicle in the tractor group just to get some more detailed information about that vehicle. And it's gone to the map. You can see where the vehicle's last location was reported. It was last updated 3 days ago. You can also see the make, type information, and its status. So to get more details about its status, we're going to go down to the bottom right and tap on the history. And so it last updated 3 days ago, so it's not showing any history here, but I'm going to change its start date and time to be in the past. So I'm going to go back to May 31st. And I'm going to make the duration a little longer so we can see what it's been up to for a longer period of time. And so go back to the map, and then we can see its trail of where it's been during that time period. And in the bottom left of the screen, you can see a legend that tells you what the different colors mean. So a lot of the trail here, if I zoom in, you can see a little better. It's light blue, which corresponds to a speeding. So in the vehicle, you can set thresholds for speeding or moving. So if a vehicle is going faster than what you'd like, it will report it to you as speeding. So you can see if it's being driven too fast. And then you can see the green is working. So there's a few periods in here, stretches where it's identified as working. And then the red is where it was stopped. So you can see what it's been up to during the particular time period. Now I'm going to go back to that vehicle summary page. And there's a couple other things you can do from this page. You can share the vehicle location. So if I tap on share in the bottom left, it gives you the different ways you could share it. So for example, by message or by email. So I'm going to tap on message, and then it'll send a link of that vehicle's location to the contact that I choose. You can also get directions to that vehicle from your current location. So I tapped on get directions, and it's identified its address here. And then if I tap on directions, it will direct me to that place.
Thanks, Gwen. Now for the final strategy on managing your farm with your phone, tracking hours and maximizing worker productivity. For example, how do you keep track when workers clock in or clock out? How long they're taking for breaks or lunch hour? And what about tracking hours for payroll? How accurate is the system you're using today? Or say an immediate need comes up on a field. If it's lunchtime, do you know which farm employee is taking a break closest to that field so they can go check it out? With large operations, having this information in the palm of your hand could save a lot of valuable time. Trimble's solution is Time Tracker, which allows farm managers to view detailed statistics on time worked by employee, access performance reports of your team, find historical time entries by pay period, and all of this with your mobile device. Let's see this in action with a technical demonstration. Now I'll turn you over to Brian Stark.
Thank you, Tracy. So let's take a closer look at Time Tracker and explain how this tool helps farms struggling with labor management. Since most of your workers have smartphones, this app can go where they go. With a few simple taps, time is captured for each worker along with their georeferenced location. It is quite easy to use. Just open the Trimble Ag mobile app and click on the Time Tracker tile. The worker info will be at the very top. The worker will tap Clock In for time recording to start. If the worker needs to take a break, simply click Take a Break and the time recording will pause. Clock In continues the time recording. Now, we don't have to stay in this area of the app. We can use other parts of the Trimble Ag mobile app or maybe use a different app entirely. No matter what you do, Time Tracker is running in the background recording each second of time. Now we'll take a look at the web-based platform of Trimble Ag software and find the recorded times for each worker. Here we'll click on Scott, and as you can see, one of the lines shows his time is active, meaning time is still recording in the field. Just above this, we can see past dates and time totals for each. By clicking on one, more detailed information about that recorded time will appear, including where they clocked in and clocked out. The map is a nice feature as it can help with safety and accountability issues. Finally, sharing this data with other third-party systems is mission critical, so we've included an export button so that the data can be exported and saved as a CSV file. That flexibility is important so that you can import this data into whatever payroll system you're using for timesheet tracking. So that sums up my quick demonstration of Time Tracker. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Great, thank you, Brian. And that's the conclusion of our June webinar. Thanks to all of you for attending today. We know how busy things can get this time of year, and we appreciate you spending some of that time with us. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out by email or by phone. The contact information is on the screen. Also, make sure to come back in July when we'll be launching a new webinar topic, which we will announce in the coming week here on our website, in our newsletters, and through social media. Thanks again, and see you back here in July.